Hi, this is Ahmed from Loop Project Systems, and as I told you in the last video, I've finally built the whole AI desk operation system, at least a base for the AI desk operation system. Obviously, this isn't a finished product. If someone buys the system, there would be a lot of customization done to the system. The product I'm going to be showcasing today is just a base. That customization for a specific client will be done on top of. So I'm going to be explaining the purpose and benefits of the system in this video. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, so most businesses don't actually lose money because of slow sales. Most businesses lose money because they don't identify problems early enough. Nobody notices the problems early enough. For example, revenue drops or data breaks or reports go wrong, and teams find out weeks later in a meeting. That is very inefficient, and the system aims to fix all of those problems of missing reports, of data breaking, of certain revenue drops and anomalies, as you can see by the names of these tasks that are in the systems like financial anomaly detection and data integrity watchdogs. So this system basically aims to fix those problems that teams discover weeks later, which make internal operations of a business very inefficient. So we're going to be talking on that. Okay, so this is a typical business situation. Revenue looks fine most of the months, but certainly in some of the months. By the way, this is all mock data. This isn't some real business. As you see, I've had 9 months of data for a, suppose a random business, and in most of the months, the revenue looks fine, profit looks fine, but in some months there are sudden drops in profits. In some months have zero values for profit or revenues. In some months, random cost spikes. Nobody notices these changes. Now, in most companies, this is noticed manually. This is done manually. A person will sit on a computer with spreadsheets, and nobody wants to look at boring spreadsheets to check numbers. That's just very boring, and nobody likes to do that. So, you know, and you obviously have to hire someone to do all the boring data work for you, and you have to pay them monthly. You could be putting all of that money right back into your pockets. So you see these random missing values. This is what the system fixes. It does a lot of other stuff, but this is one of the things the system fixes. Now, by by not having this, it actually wastes time and generates incorrect reports, and real money is lost because of these inefficiencies. And we'll be further expanding on it in the next scene. So now I'll be talking about why manual ops fails. So basically, finance teams are really busy, and when they actually do find a problem, they're very reactive about it. The leadership only gets to see summaries of what has happened, and the problem slips through to the next month or the next quarter and continues. Anomalies are flagged. So, what businesses need isn't more dashboards. They need active monitoring and decision support, and that's what this whole system does, and we'll be expanding on it further. So, this is basically the AI operations systems that I've built. And so basically, what the system will do is it will watch your financial data, it will detect anomalies, it will check data integrity, it will log all of the tasks that it performs, and it will log alerts. It will notify the team and produce executive summaries and send it to the leadership. So basically, you see, no human has to remember to check anything, and that makes this whole system a lot more efficient and more cost effective. Businesses are probably paying people to check their data and data entries and everything. They can just automate it and save a lot of money. They can save like 70% of their money by paying 30% to the automation person and put 70% of the money they pay to their worker in their pockets. That's what the system does. It'll do all of those things. And no human has to remember to check anything. It will make sure that the data is good to go, and if anything is not good, it will send you alerts, it will send you emails, it will notify the team on Slack, and you can add many layers on top of that. And yeah, so I'll be expanding on each task further. So let's go. So this is task number one of the four tasks involved in the system. So this is task one, and it's named financial anomaly detection. So basically, there's a schedule trigger which triggers this workflow. You can set it to however much long you want it to. It's currently set to, cycle every 1 week, but for testing purposes, I've set it to, I'm pretty sure if it's 1 hour, 24 hours. Yes, it's set to 24 hours, so this will run every month in theory. But you can customize it to your liking. You can make it run every single day, every single week, depending on how often you're changing your data in your databases. So basically, every cycle, the system checks month-over-month changes, revenue spikes, cost explosions, profit contradictions, and that stuff. If something looks off, it will send alerts, it will send emails, and it will log that task in the alerts table and the task table and send an email if anything looks off. I'll actually show you an email. So here's an email. It's financial anomaly detection in my Airtable base in April. There were some issues with the revenue, so it shows the revenue changed 76.5%, costs increased 82.7%. Please review. I'll send these types of emails. So this is what task number one does, and now let's move on to task number two. So this is task two, and it's monthly performance explanation. So what this is supposed to do is, it's actually supposed to show you numbers. It's actually supposed to show you what's wrong and what's changed instead of just raw numbers, and it shows you why the thing that changed actually matter. It will give you a kind of it will actually give you an analysis. So basically, this task will save managers and analysts hours of manual interpretation and actually show you. So basically, it will do all of its thing, and then it will create a record in Airtable. And as you can see, monthly performance explanation, it's a schedule trigger, and this is the summary of it will show the summary of the last month. So the last month in my Airtable was September, so it shows a summary of September. So yeah, that's what this does, and this is another task in the system. And now let's move on to task three. So this is task number three, data integrity watchdog, and this is actually a very critical task of the system because it will prevent bad data from flowing into reports now. There won't be any bad data in reports now. So basically, it will, if data is missing, zeroed out, or corrupted, it will flag it immediately. It will log alerts in our Airtable, and it will send an internal team message. So I'll show you the Airtable. As you can see, data integrity watchdog schedule missing or zero value, and if you go to alert logs, data integrity issue May, missing or zero revenue, and if you go to financial monthly in May, it is zero revenue right there. And you'll also send a Slack message, alert, check database for missing values immediately. So this is a very critical task of the system, and now we'll be moving on to task number four. Okay, so this is task four and the final task for the system. This is a weekly operation summary. So what this does is it will analyze all of the alerts and task logs of the past 1 week, analyze them, aggregate weekly results, and it will generate an email. It will log that task that it generated email, and then it will send an executive email. Now, what this does is that the leadership gets one clear summary. The system health, active issues, business risks, and concrete next actions. No meetings and no chasing new updates. I'll show you the email generated for this data, for this data and this data. Here's the email it generated. You can pause the video and read this whole email. Yeah, this was task number four. Okay, so no, let's be practical. The system replaces manual spreadsheet work, manual spreadsheet checks, repetitive analyst work, late anomaly discovery, firefighting meetings. The system catches problems before they cost real money. Even one prevented reporting error or one early cost spike pays for the system. Detecting the vulnerability cost like pays for the system basically. So yeah, the system prevents a lot of things that could go wrong. And it also replaces the worker you've hired for all of these boring spreadsheet checks and these data checks. Yeah, so the system does that. Focus on now, let's talk who would be the perfect customer for this type of system. So basically, agencies handling financial ops, SaaS companies, e-commerce brands, any company or business with recurring financial data. If you already have a database or a data structure set up, this system sits on top of that. As I've told you before, this system that I've just showcased is just a base level system. For any client who comes to us who wants the system implemented, the system would be largely customized. This is just 20 to 30% of the actual system. Most of the system would be custom built around your database, around your data structure, or around your needs. This is just the base of the system. This is just a concept. We can only build concepts because when the real client comes to us, we have to build a customized system that sits on top of their database, on top of their data structure, on top of their, whole thing. We can't just generalize these systems. That would be a good move, that wouldn't serve our clients well. We need to serve our clients well. So these services are costly, but they are custom built. We offer free support for up to 3 months after the initial purchase, and after 3 months, we start charging for support. So yeah, that's basically this, and yeah. So now, just some closing notes from my side. So this system isn't really about AI hype. It's about operational awareness. If your business only reacts after problems happen, this system changes that. It will detect the problem weeks before the problem will actually become a problem and cost the business real money. If you want something like this built for your own business, reach out at the email mentioned. Yeah, just reach out at the email and I'll contact you back. Our team will contact you back, and we can customize the system to sit on top of your data structure and your needs. So yeah, that was it for today, and I'll see you with another system after some time.